Hello, everyone, and welcome to Star English. I'm your host, Stephen Revere. It's great to be with you. You know, we do get hurt by people once in a while, but other times we get a lot of help and happiness from other people at the same time, don't we? So there was a poet once named Wordsworth who once said, "Thanks to the human heart by which we live, thanks to its tenderness, its joys, and fears." You know what? Look at somebody around you today and give them a little bit of encouragement and happiness through your words, and you'll see it'll come back to you as well. And today, we're going to give you a little encouragement on Star English. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for a little trivia. You know, it's not necessarily true that all popular music is great music, but we do know that it is popular music and well known to people. And we know that we have a measurement of it. When a musician, a band, or an individual musician reaches sales of one album of 500,000 albums, we say that they have gotten a gold disc, and then they actually imprint a gold disc and put it up on their wall. When an album went gold, we say that about an album that has sold 500,000 copies. Well, today we have one of Korea's greatest guitarists who's going to tell us a little bit more about what happens when you sell a lot of albums. Let's go meet Kim Se-hwang. Hello there, Mr. Kim.
Well, hello. Thank you for inviting me over.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah, no, it's our honor to have you as a guest.
Well, I'm really pleased to be here.
Great,
well,
great.
Thanks for having me.
So, Kim Se-hwang.
Yes.
You are famous as a guitarist.
Wow.
Tell us a little bit about how you got started playing the guitar.
Well, my guitar career had started, shamefully, back in 1974 when I was 4 years old.
Why is that shameful?
Well,
that puts us almost at the same age, actually. Yeah, okay.
Well, it does it.
Yeah.
Well, I do feel that I've always been obligated to play the guitar back in my hometown of McLean, Virginia, back in the 70s. And growing up in the States, what else can you do in the 70s besides football and playing the guitar to, impress the girls? So I guess that's how it all started. While we were just playing around, just fooling with the guitar, like we would play around with the basketball or the football. And it was a natural thing as you grew up in your own town in your childhood, like if you've been in the States like in the 70s like I've been. And and ever since it has never been changed, and now I'm 40.
Right. Okay, so you started out playing the guitar at 4 years old.
Right.
In the 70s in Virginia.
Right, exactly.
How many, correct me if I'm wrong, you're Korean American.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm Korean.
Korean,
Right.
Okay. Were you born in America, though?
No. I was born here in Korea.
Okay.
But that's one of the reasons why I am Korean.
Yeah.
And even if we were in the States for quite a long time, my father was a diplomat who was stationed in the Korean embassy in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
So that still left us as Koreans.
Sure.
Even though we were there for more than 10 years ago. More than 10 years worth of time.
Years.
Right.
Okay.
So
how old were you when you got to the U.S.?
In American age, it was more like 2.5, 3. And when I came back, I was, I think, 16, 17.
Okay. Okay. So you spent most of your childhood then growing up as a Korean. There were, in the 70s, I lived in the States in the 70s.
Oh, good. All right. There you go.
You and I both have that in common. There were not a lot of Koreans around in the 70s, right?
Thank you for mentioning
Yeah,
this.
there were not many.
I remember back in the 70s
Yeah.
in Virginia,
Yeah.
when we would get phone calls from Koreans in the region saying, hey, we're going to do kimchi. You want some? We would drive for like 4 or 5 hours, which is rather a short time period if you're considering
States, yeah.
like the land margin in the States. And I mean, we would just drive over for like 4 or 5 hours just to get a bowl of kimchi, which was really precious back then.
Right, right.
And if we were to like travel towards Florida or Canada,
Yeah.
and we would like roughly just go through.
I'll bet at the time there was probably no beichu. In the States, it was probably rare because they probably grew the beichu themselves, I bet. Huh?
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why kimchi was so
You
precious.
couldn't
back
get
in the
beichu.
70s.
You couldn't get that at the grocery store. Napa
Right,
cabbage in the
exactly.
70s? Nobody ate that.
I mean,
Yeah.
yes, if we were like to go through like a couple of states like South Carolina,
Yeah.
people would be looking at us like, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oriental person.
Right.
That's how rare we were
Right.
as species in the States back then. And I mean, for me,
Species.
well, in my position, that's
yes.
how it was.
Yeah.
And growing up with
Extreme minority.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And I mean, having been growing up with diplomat kids in the States, well, it was rather a fun time for me to try to fit in
Yeah.
with the rest of the crowd, because like I think almost half of the kids in the neighborhood were like Americans, and the other half were like diplomat kids from all over the world, and we would like just but we were really natural, like normal American kids, like pledging our allegiance to the flag,
Of course.
as we always would
American
do.
school, yes.
And for me, I have 2 like Constitution Days or Independent Days, and which is, well, the Korean one and the American one. So even for me, still being a Korean person, still the 4th of July is one of those special days for me still.
Really? Okay, very cool. Wow. Well, in your time since you've been